Well, welcome in, everybody. We are talking today about ethics and what we do. So, how can we be more ethical, or how do we sleep at night? How do we make sure that we sleep at night, that we have a good conscience about ourselves? And a lot of times in the spiritual community, it is not everything that you think it is. There is a lot of hidden behind certain things, or hidden behind being quote unquote spiritual, that they're a good person because they're that way, and it could be the total opposite. And what do you think, Kimberly? What do you think about the spiritual community and ethics?
I guess going into this whole spiritual community, I really thought that everyone was so pure and love and lights. And as you're meeting new people and you're starting to really get into the community, you start to meet people that aren't really real. There's a lot of people that maybe backstab others or make fun of others. So it's just like real life. It's not just because you're in the spiritual community that everything's gonna be love and light and perfect, which I thought. Real life that happens too in real life. So I feel like, if you are walking this journey, I do feel like you shouldn't be that way. You should be true to your path, and you shouldn't use people, or you shouldn't fake is a big one. You shouldn't be fake. You should be real. I feel that honesty and integrity is important, in what we do. Don't you feel that? Like,
Oh, definitely.
oh, it's
I
just so important.
definitely. I think you should, be that whether you're spiritual or not. Like,
Hmm.
always do the right thing no matter what, or always, like, if you have an issue, talk about it, but don't try to put people down to get to where you want to be. Don't take from people to be where you want to be. Don't steal from people, and don't make up lies to be where you want to be, because that actually happened to me. There's a guy in the Myrtle Beach area that I met like 12 years ago, and I have promoted him so much. He's a tarot reader. And I thought he was actually a really good guy. But then in 2019, I had my coffee shop at that time, and I had hired a medium to come do a gallery event at my coffee shop before we open, try to get like the buzz going, and that doesn't normally happen here. And I was sitting there in the back of the coffee shop because I was not part of it, and I get a text message from him, and he goes, "I am so disappointed that you were talking shit about me and the things that you said." And I'm like, "I haven't said anything. I haven't even talked to you in 2 years. The only thing I do is promote you. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?" And then he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, that's weird that
Right.
he saw where I was having a medium at my coffee shop. And he literally texted me at the same time that she's working. And mind you, I hadn't talked to him in 2 years.
Right.
I've only had like a couple card readings from him. That's it. I've never hung out with him. I've never spent time. I don't even have his cell phone number, right? So like that shows you how not close we are in like the 12 years. I've paid for a couple services. I've recommended a bunch of people, and that's it. So I was kind of shocked when he said that because I know that I didn't say anything.
Right.
So then, and I had even told him when I started doing readings, and there was like no response. So, I was like, "Oh, well, whatever, like no big deal." So then fast forward to last year, um, and it was actually on my birthday last year. Another gentleman, another tarot reader, his episode on the podcast came out. And not even 20 minutes after that podcast episode comes out, I get another message from that same guy about how I'm talking shit about him on my birthday. I haven't said a word about him. So I called him like through Facebook Messenger, and I
Hmm.
said, "You know what? I am getting really fucking tired of this. I haven't said a fucking thing, so let's meet. Whoever said this, let's all get together." Because they
Right.
can say it to my face, because I've never said that. And I told this guy, I said, "It's kind of weird." I said, "You don't think it's coincidental that you accused me of this at the same time where I had another medium in my coffee shop? Now the only man that I have on the episode that's another tarot reader in the same time frame his episode comes out, you're texting me with the same shit. He starts backpedaling. He starts saying, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I should have never said that. I should have trusted." Well, for one, I know I haven't said anything like ever. And I even talked to my friends about it and I said, "You know, it's pretty fucked up. This is my birthday. You're like calling me out. You're saying this on my birthday."
Right.
And I know I didn't say anything and I'm done. Like this is we're not in high school, dude. I haven't said anything. Please stop, right? And I had even asked my friends, I was like, "Have you guys ever heard me talk about this guy?" And they're like, "No, who is he?" I'm like, "Exactly. I only would recommend him if people were looking for a tarot reading, right? Like, go see him." So I found the lady that he said I said that, and I reached out to her.
Hmm.
She doesn't know who he is.
What? She doesn't know him.
Nope. She only has 23 followers on Facebook. She has no idea who he is. He probably was hoping I wouldn't find her. But I found her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. And then I ended up blocking him because I'm like, I don't need that in my life.
Right.
Like, don't lie to make yourself feel better. And don't lie to try to make me feel like shit. Because I know what I did. And I promise you, if I was talking shit about somebody, you wouldn't be my friend in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even have you on my Facebook or have communication with you or anything like that, right?
Right.
So it's like, why would I say things bad? Because I know I didn't. But yeah, so I blocked him. And what's interesting is prior to that is he's always the victim on his Facebook. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always about don't let anybody dim your light. You know, people will put you down, people will do this. And I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of a reflection of yourself. All of your posts are who he is.
Wow.
Which is crazy because I'm like, oh my God, I wish I just would have seen it. But I thank him for showing his true colors so that way I could just be done. Like
Wow.
once I found that girl and I started talking with her, and I mean, she has 23 followers, and she's also another tarot reader. So
Wow.
that's kind of weird that he threw her name out there like that.
Now it's not nice. He probably, she doesn't know him?
No, and I didn't say anything. I just asked if
Mm-hmm.
she knew who he was, that he was another tarot reader in the area. I did it from my personal page. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Didn't do it from my spiritual medium page and reached out to her. She has no clue who he is. And I said, "Are you sure?" Because he said you worked out of the Market Common area doing tarot readings. And she goes, "No, I work off Zoom and I don't live in Market Commons." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, we went back and forth. I didn't say who said anything or anything like that. I just left it at, well, thank you for your time. Because
Right.
that's all I needed the validation from because of his lies.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like you got to trust your intuition too. So if your instinct's telling you this guy's not right, this isn't right, you go with it, trust it, and let go. Just say, you know what, I can't be friends with that
I
person.
knew it wasn't right because I didn't say it.
Right, right.
Right. So I'm
So
like, I didn't say anything.
but you knew something wasn't right with him. Then it gave you that, instinct of like, wait a minute here,
It was the
because he'll
two
keep doing
times.
it.
Yeah, it was the two times. Like, and it was, and I told, like, I still have it on video, like, recorded on my Facebook Messenger where I was like, "You don't think that's fucking weird that you said this same shit when I had a medium and now another male tarot reader's coming out? Like, now, and you're saying the same shit, not
Mhm.
random, like, that's weird. That's freaking like, that's your own shit, dude. That has nothing to do with me. Like, you're just
Right.
trying to make me feel bad and I didn't even
I feel
do
like
anything."
that was his insecurity, and that was his way of dealing with not feeling secure about something, or maybe, because you didn't have him as a reader. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. Oh, I already know that. And even
instead of
when I said,
saying, hey, I'm happy to see this, but hey, would you ever consider having me do tarot there? Or, reach
Mhm.
out and ask instead of just making up a terrible story, that's very negative.
Well, actually, I had actually thought about asking him to do it, but he was actually taking a break in his career from health issues. And
Mm.
I had even told him that. I
Wow.
said, I didn't ask you because he has like health issues. So like I looked for somebody else to do it.
Right.
Gonna bother someone if they're taking a break from their job, and he publicly posted that on his Facebook, and this was, in
Right.
2019. And
Right.
now, like, I was gonna have him on the podcast, but then after that, I'm like, no, that's so much hate,
Right.
like for no reason. I haven't done anything. I don't even know him like that.
Sounds like he needs to do a lot of work, like shadow work and look in the mirror, mirroring of like why he's reacting or doing these things because it's not in the good interest of anyone to do that.
Never,
No,
never, ever. It's never good to just
he has
make
a
up
lot of work.
lies
He has some shit to deal with, you know?
and stuff I don't want to be a part of. Like
Right.
that is all him. And I'm thinking, I've never even hung out with you in my life. I've had a couple sessions with you, recommended you, and I don't even have your number. I only have Facebook Messenger. Like,
Right.
I'm not your friend, dude. Like, I don't know why I would be saying it. I don't even talk about you like that unless I'm recommending them. So that's where it kind of showed me like, oh, this spiritual community could be not
Yeah.
so nice.
It's hard for me too is sometimes I'll have people come to me for a reading and they'll talk about someone else that they've had a reading from.
Hmm.
A tricky situation to be in.
I don't say anything when they do that.
Right. I just say I don't know them. If I don't know them, I'm like, I'm not aware of them or I don't know them. Or I don't know them that way. Maybe I only know who they are, or I don't really know, I've never got a reading, whatever. But it's hard because you don't want to focus on that. And I try to deter that conversation, but they like want to tell you, well, they were negative and they were this and they were, and I'm like, well, because then I guess they compare. I feel like a lot of people like to compare us as readers. Like, oh, this one was so negative and she cursed or called names, where you're like more positive or you're very soft, like more the way that, everyone works differently. But that's hard too because I don't want to put anybody down. I don't want to say bad things about other readers. Yes, I'll take it in and go, okay, well, then maybe I won't recommend them, if so many people have said this, but I don't want to get involved, you
Mhm.
know? Isn't it like you just want to kind of go, I don't want to be in the middle of that, you
I
know?
don't say any, and most of the time I don't even know who,
Yeah,
like,
like
where they
oh,
went.
yeah, like
I just apologize and I
uh,
just say, I'm sorry you had that experience and I hope they refunded you. And that's all because, like,
right.
there's nothing we can do to change it or make it better or,
I
and
know,
I don't want to know who did it or how they've, it does suck when people will pay a lot of money and then they're like, your loved one's floating around or your loved one's too busy to connect or, which,
right.
isn't true. But, and a lot of people pay a lot of money for that. And that's where it kind of gets into the ethical side of it, right? Too, where people charge a lot, but they haven't put in the work. But at that point, I don't want to know. I just say sorry. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm sorry that you had that experience.
Right.
And, I'm glad you gave it like me another, like a chance, because a lot of
Right.
times when people have a bad experience, they don't want to do it again because it is so
No,
bad.
I think everyone is the same, and they're all
Mhm.
like this, and I hate to be in that category. Like I'm, grateful that they do give other choice, like different people choose,
Yeah, I do
but
too.
but it's
It's
sad when
pity.
you have a bad experience, and that goes again with integrity and
Mm-hmm.
because there are non-ethical. I feel like there's non-ethical workers in everything, but in
Yes.
our business, it's very, you're going to have ethical and non-ethical. It's just how life is in everything. You have ethical police officers and non-ethical,
Hmm.
so it's
Yep.
everywhere.
It
You know,
is. It
and
is everywhere.
I categorize it's just, oh, readers are this, and
Right.
they kind of put that negative turn spin on it, and
I
I
think
hate,
it's,
you
oh,
know.
I know. And I think it's easy to do that for us when they have come across an unethical reader because it's already something that's not tangible, right?
Right.
Like what we do. So then you come across like a false person that, is scamming people and then it makes it even worse. Like they're already coming into it being very vulnerable, maybe have some skepticism and then it just goes downhill. And then they could have paid a lot of money. And so it's like that double whammy of being like vulnerable, it's your loved ones and then you pay a lot of money and you kind of have your hopes up and then it's like And then it was just awful. You know what I mean, with their reading or however they connected, or literally didn't connect, because then they just give them some baloney, you know, wherever they're fly, now they're an astronaut, who knows? Like, it's so sad when you
Right.
do that, but you gotta be ethical. And I'm like, how do they sleep at night? Giving these readings or charging that much, and then they're just pure crap. And it's funny because I just watched one on TikTok, and this lady charges, she's so unethical. She charges $200 for
Hmm.
20 minutes to connect to your live pets, your
Wow.
living pets. And this really big TikToker who has hundreds of thousands of followers paid and has two living dogs. And she literally said it because it's a recorded reading that took 6 weeks to get for the $200 for 20 minutes. She goes, "Your dog walks with a cane."
What?
Yeah, walks with a cane. And then she says, "Oh, one of her dog's name is Minnie." And she goes, "Oh, Minnie doesn't like all the guns in the house. She doesn't like that the dad likes to shoot and kill deer and be careful so he doesn't kill himself. He's very depressed." But she says that in the recorded reading about him killing himself.
Wow.
I'll send it to you. I will send you the video because it is shocking, the reading. And that lady goes, "We don't have guns. He doesn't hunt. He's not depressed." But like that is so unethical
It's terrible. Terrible.
to talk about somebody's gonna kill themselves.
Right.
And
Like,
she's talking to their live dogs. Come on. Oh
no,
my God, the whole reading was just, it was
that's a lot of money, you
for
know,
20 minutes,
right.
$200 for 20 minutes, and she's
And,
booked like 6 weeks out.
that you're not even ethical about it. Like, you don't even have any information correct.
None.
Nothing is correct. I mean, it's
Uh-uh.
not right,
No, it's not right. She said
It's
she
that.
did refund her.
Oh,
Mhm.
did you refund?
She did say she refunded her, and then the lady on TikTok made I guess kind of like an apology video, and she goes, she goes, "Well, I'm talking about the video that surfaced, and I've done 180 readings, and only two haven't been correct.
Oh boy.
You're charging $200 and you've only practice reading should be like 500 to 1,000 before you start charging. And you've only done 180 readings total and you're charging $200 for 20 minutes." I said, people probably just don't even say anything to her about how inaccurate they are and just say that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not
But it's
worth it trying to
bad.
get a refund.
No, people like that take advantage, and it just looks bad on everyone. You know,
Mhm.
it's sad that that does happen, but it does happen.
It does, but I was glad that that lady called her out, played the video, got her refund back. But I'm like, even if you're talking to living animals, what dog has a cane? I mean, like how
Right. It
delusional.
doesn't even make sense.
No, but I'm like, so where's the accuracy even if in that? Like, I don't get it. And I'm just like, oh my God, people will pay for anything. And
Yep.
some people will believe anything, And then, oh my God, Kimberly, I didn't even say this. The people in the comments were like, "Well, have they thought about that their dogs might have been lying to the psychic?
Oh my gosh.
That they're
No.
blaming the dogs
Oh
for
my.
lying to the psychic about what it is that they
Wow.
like."
Wow.
No, the people were being real, like for real in the comments about blaming the dogs for the inaccuracy of her reading. I'm
That's
like, why would dogs lie?
it's
Wh-
insane.
Why would dogs lie? Like, what? Why? Dogs
And
are innocent.
dogs are so pure. Yeah, like it's no. Mm-mm.
No, this is what I'm talking about with the ethics behind it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's also some other stuff which I can't like totally speak on, but mediums and things like that stealing people's money, offering retreats, and then
And taking the money and running.
yeah, taking the money and run. And
And
these are people being vulnerable and trusting of these people. And, hopefully the court systems and the police and all that can help everybody get their money back.
and
But,
sad because people do trust, trust us,
mhm.
trust us with, just with grief and healing the grief and also hearing from their loved ones. And you're so trusted, and then you're going to take advantage of that trust and just do those things is just so unethical, and it's just terrible. It's just shows what kind of person they really are.
Yeah,
Sad because then it hurts the people who've trusted them. They don't have, then they don't trust again.
mhm.
They lose trust, and that's a shame.
It is. And it's a shame because when you have that much faith in somebody and then
Mm,
they do you so wrong where they steal from you or and then they block you or they, take money from good people. I mean, that I don't know how they sleep at night. I would literally be sick.
yeah,
Like I would want to throw up. Like I would do whatever I could if I was in that situation to work stuff out with everybody and be
right,
seen. You know what I mean?
right. Well, and and your name is everything. Like once you ruin that, like you can't come back from that.
You can hide and time might erase some of it, but it will follow you.
Right,
Like it will bite you in the butt. Karma always comes back around. Even if we don't get to physically see it,
right.
it
And
comes.
and it's energy. So whatever you're putting out or giving out, you're going to get back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I
definitely. I
so
agree.
these people that have done those things, like, do they not understand that what you give out, you get back? I don't understand why you would want that. I wouldn't. I want to give out love and hope and love and just wonderful happiness so that you can get that back.
Hmm. Yeah,
So that's
definitely. What goes around comes around. We all have bad days, but I would never.
coming from people.
Right. Right. I would never intentionally hurt anybody or steal from anybody or take from anybody. You know
Right,
what I mean? Like, I think we are just overall doing the best we can, but that's not part of it. Taking from other people to grow us, you know what I mean? Or to help us in that
right.
way where you're
Well,
feeding people.
it's very, it's greedy, and to not even really have a conscience about it,
Right.
that not have like that's just, it's definitely non-ethical, and there's no
Yeah.
intent at all.
Which is crazy too, because most of the people that do the work that we do are very empathetic,
Mhm.
to the point where we could almost feel people's pains. So it's like to steal from people and hide that or try to run from that. I'm like, that's where it's like I would be physically ill,
Right.
like physically sick to
So
my
you're
stomach.
that.
Yeah, because I would do whatever I could to pay anybody back, and some people are not that way. And
Mm-mm.
it trips me out. I can't even imagine what that would be like just knowing how you affected people's lives and took money and then nothing to show for it. No product, no service, no nothing.
It's sad though, because the people that do those things, they don't care. They
They
have
don't.
no remorse, no, they don't
Crazy.
do anything wrong,
Yes.
sad.
And I have heard where like nobody in my area that I know of, or like I have heard like online and things like that, where certain mediums will actually like book sessions, but then like constantly cancel over and over and over again, but not give the people their money back.
Well, that's not good either.
Yeah, I don't know where. Like I'll just see it like in threads or,
Right.
even on Reddit or things like that. And yeah, and they'll like constantly cancel and then they try to get their money back and they can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
And I'm
that's
like,
I
then
mean,
that they weren't planning on doing it in the first place.
and then they're giving what we do a bad rap.
Hmm.
People are going to lose trust and lose faith, and it's sad because just those few bad apples ruin the whole bunch.
Hmm. Probably
Sad.
like how construction workers feel, we feel.
Yeah.
Few and far in between are the good ones.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we have, you gotta trust us. You can't see our work till you pay. So, but yeah, I think it's always good to have, set boundaries, of course, but do everything with the best intention and with helping people and doing the best job you can and not take from anybody, especially in what we do for a living. Because, like we said, everybody's at this vulnerable point, usually in grief, and they need help, and not to be taken advantage of. So, you know.
I know.
Yeah, so we thank y'all for listening in. Hopefully, nobody listening has ever encountered, a non-ethical medium or someone that took.
But if you did, we want to hear. We'd love
Right,
to
yes,
hear stories and what happened because it's good to share and know what's going on in our field. So
definitely. But we hope you haven't because
yes, we are.
yes, we hope nobody has actually been taken advantage of.
I share good experiences too. So
Yes,
we're sharing both the good and
yes,
the bad.
yes, because there should be more good than bad.
Let's hope.
Bad definitely sticks out.
Right.
You know? Well, thank y'all for listening in. We hope y'all have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.